Have you ever sensed that there's a power within you far greater than anything you've ever imagined? A power that transcends individual desires and fleeting transformation. What if your journey wasn't just about becoming a better version of yourself, but about realizing you are the very source from which all reality flows? Tonight we're ascending to the ultimate summit of silent emergence, recognizing your true essence as infinite creative consciousness. Now, beloved friends, we approach the profound summit of our exploration into silent emergence, the realization of your true essence as infinite creative consciousness. Let's delve deeply into this ultimate understanding, for here lies your final liberation from limitation, struggle, and delusion. When silent emergence reaches its peak, you don't merely inhabit a desired state. You merge wholly with universal intelligence itself. In this merging, you dissolve the illusion of separation entirely, recognizing yourself not as a separate being who has transformed, but as the very source from which all creation flows. This isn't simply philosophical, it's deeply experiential. Imagine yourself as an artist who initially paints separate images upon a canvas, each stroke distinct, each color individual. But as your understanding deepens, you realize that you aren't the painting, nor even the painter. You are the pure creative potential that gives rise to both. You are the empty canvas upon which infinite possibilities emerge. In this state of divine realization, your silent emergence ceases to be about personal manifestation. Instead, it transforms into a profound act of universal participation. You become aware of the infinite interconnectedness of all things, recognizing that every desire you have ever held was simply a reflection of your innate connection to the whole. Here, your consciousness expands far beyond the personal, embracing the universe. Your individual desires are transcended, replaced by a profound, compassionate awareness that you are co-creating reality at every moment. Your silent emergence is now a cosmic dance, a sacred alignment with the universal symphony of creation. This brings forth what I call the principle of infinite resonance. Infinite resonance is your effortless alignment with the frequency of universal consciousness. You no longer vibrate at the frequency of personal desires alone, but resonate with universal truth. Your every thought, word, and action naturally aligns with cosmic harmony, effortlessly reflecting the highest good. When you live from this state, manifestation occurs spontaneously and effortlessly, not because you consciously intend it, but because your consciousness itself has become an open gateway for infinite intelligence. Your reality naturally mirrors your deep inner alignment, effortlessly and continuously reflecting harmony, abundance, and joy. Consider carefully. In ultimate silent emergence, there is no longer a you who is separate from the universe. You are universal intelligence itself, expressed uniquely through your individuated consciousness. You cease to desire from a place of lack or longing, for you now experience the completeness of being the source itself. Here lies a profound truth. The highest state of silent emergence is divine embodiment. In divine embodiment, you live continuously aware that you are not merely manifesting desires. You are eternally birthing creation itself. You become a conscious, intentional participant in the divine act of creation, seamlessly merging your will with universal will. In this heightened state, your silent presence itself becomes healing, transformative, and enlightening to all who encounter it. You need not utter a single word. Your presence alone becomes a conduit for universal love, wisdom, and creativity. You naturally elevate and harmonize the consciousness of everyone you meet. Now, let us speak clearly about the subtlety of divine detachment. Even as you embody infinite creativity, you remain completely detached from outcomes. Divine detachment is the awareness that all forms are temporary expressions of eternal consciousness. You appreciate each manifestation, yet never cling to it. Your joy lies in the creative act itself, not in holding on to any particular outcome. This state of detachment is not aloofness but profound inner freedom. You are free to enjoy each creation fully, knowing that your true essence lies beyond temporary form. You create, enjoy, release, and create again, effortlessly and joyously participating in the endless dance of cosmic creation. Consider carefully the nature of this state. Your identity is now infinite and bound. You recognize yourself as pure consciousness, unrestricted by identity, form, or circumstance. You can assume any form, embody any desire, because your true essence is formless and unlimited. This awareness dissolves all fear, limitation, and anxiety, leaving only boundless freedom and infinite possibility. Ultimately, my dear friends, silent emergence leads you to the most sacred revelation. You are not separate from the divine. You are the divine itself. You are the very consciousness that dreamed the universe into being. You are both dreamer and dream, creator and creation, infinite and embodied. This is the profound truth expressed in the ancient scriptures. I and the Father are one. This oneness is not metaphorical. It is literal, immediate, and experientially real. It is the final destination of all spiritual seeking and manifestation. In this divine state, all striving ceases. Your existence becomes an effortless, joyous celebration of infinite creativity. You are liberated from the cycle of desire and fulfillment, for you realize that you already possess everything within your consciousness. Now, dear ones, commit yourself fully to this ultimate realization. Cease identifying with limitation, fear, or lack. Allow your consciousness to expand infinitely, embracing your true nature as universal intelligence. Live each moment in joyous awareness of your divine nature, expressing effortlessly, silently, powerfully. This, my friends, is the ultimate purpose and culmination of silent emergence. To awaken fully to your infinite potential as divine consciousness itself. In this state, you become a living embodiment of truth, joy, peace, and creativity. Be silent, be divine, be infinite. Let your very being illuminate the world. Tonight, dear friends, let us expand our understanding of silent emergence into its ultimate spiritual culmination. The realization of your divine nature through quiet, unshakable embodiment. To fully comprehend this final stage, we must recognize that true emergence transcends personal transformation alone. It moves you into alignment with universal forces, where your state of being harmonizes effortlessly with the greater cosmic order. Now, understand clearly. Once your inner transformation is fully embodied, you become a conduit through which universal power naturally flows. Your silent presence is no longer merely personal. It becomes impersonal, a pure expression of divine energy and form. This is the essence of what I call the ITST principle of divine transparency. Divine transparency means you allow your individual self to become clear, open, and unobstructed, letting universal consciousness express itself through you effortlessly. Like a pristine glass, through which light passes unobstructed, your embodied state becomes a perfect reflection of the infinite. You no longer strive for outcomes. You become the outcome itself. Here lies a subtle truth. When the highest form of manifestation is not possession, but becoming. To embody your desire fully is to become it, to express it naturally without thinking, effort, or expectation. It is the deepest realization that what you seek is not external, but the very nature of your inner being. Consider deeply the nature of effortless creation. Just as a tree naturally and effortlessly produces fruit, fully embodied consciousness naturally and effortlessly produces manifestation. The tree does not strain or force, it is simply true to its nature. So too, when your consciousness is fully aligned, manifestation ceases to be an event and becomes a continual, effortless outpouring. The final insight of silent emergence is this: true power arises in surrender, not control. Paradoxically, you achieve the greatest creative potency when you relinquish conscious control and allow your state of being to unfold effortlessly. Surrender is not weakness, it is ultimate strength. It is alignment with infinite intelligence, far greater than personal intellect or effort. In full emergence, you are guided no longer by personal desire alone, but by intuitive knowing. You no longer force your path, but follow the natural unfolding of the universe within you. Your inner guidance becomes clear, powerful, and unmistakable. You act effortlessly, spontaneously, in perfect alignment. Let me introduce another subtle truth, the law of unseen influence. When fully emerged, your silent presence begins to influence the world invisibly yet powerfully. Without words or conscious effort, your presence uplifts and transforms those around you. You become like a tuning fork, quietly harmonizing the frequencies of those who enter your orb. Consider the masters and avatars throughout history. Their greatest teachings were often delivered through silent presence rather than words. Such is the power you begin to access when you reach complete embodiment. Your silent state becomes a profound spiritual teaching, a living testament to the power of inner transformation. Understand clearly, your final emergence is not a conclusion, it is an eternal beginning. It is the threshold into a continuous, dynamic relationship with infinite creative potential. Every moment, fresh and new, emerges effortlessly from your fully embodied consciousness. You must also grasp deeply the idea of inner authenticity. Authenticity, in this highest sense, means your external expression matches your inner truth without distortion. There is no longer any gap between who you are inwardly and how you express yourself outwardly. Your life becomes seamless, integrated, whole. Authenticity creates trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your path, and trust from others who sense your deep alignment. Trust is magnetic, drawing to you those conditions and relationships perfectly matched to your embodied state. Remember, however, that the goal is never external recognition, praise, or validation. These may come, but they are secondary effects, never primary objectives. Your only genuine purpose in emergence is to remain authentically aligned with your truth. From this alignment, all else naturally unfolds. Now, finally, let us reflect on the profound truth of unity consciousness. Silent emergence ultimately leads you to experience unity with all things. You realize vividly that separation was always an illusion. Your fulfilled state is no longer personal, it becomes universal. Your consciousness expands beyond personal identity into a universal identity. You no longer see yourself as separate from your desires, from others, or from the universe itself. You recognize that all is interconnected, all is one, and your fulfilled state is simply your conscious recognition of this oneness. This realization dissolves barriers, limitations, and fears, leaving you in a state of profound peace, joy, and boundless possibility. With unity consciousness, your transformation becomes not merely personal fulfillment, but universal service. You live as a continuous expression of divine consciousness, naturally bringing peace, healing, and inspiration wherever you go. This is your silent but powerful contribution to the collective awakening. Ultimately, my friends, the purpose of silent emergence is to restore you to your inherent divine nature. It returns you to the core of your being, pure consciousness, infinite creativity, boundless potential. Tonight, commit deeply to this ultimate realization. Do not merely seek personal transformation, seek universal alignment. Do not simply manifest desires, embody divinity itself. Allow your consciousness to expand, integrate, and radiate naturally into the world around you. Be silent, not out of withdrawal, but out of divine presence. Allow your embodiment to silently speak for itself. Go forth now, my friends, in quiet confidence and unwavering peace, knowing that as you fully embody your truth, you are indeed transforming the world. Be silent, be radiant, be one. Now, my dear friends, let us journey even deeper into the subtle yet immensely powerful phase of silent emergence. The moment when inner creation reveals itself naturally, effortlessly, and inevitable. You must understand clearly, your emergence into your desired state is not a step to be executed, but a natural consequence of your internal alignment. Consider this carefully. True transformation is self-announcing. It requires no external validation. Its power lies precisely in its quiet certainty. Many of you, during your silent gestation, will sense an inner shift that feels complete. Yet even then, caution is needed. Why caution? Because premature emergence can dilute your new state, pulling you back into an old identity or compelling you to justify your transformation. Silence must remain your companion until your new state is not only embodied but utterly effortless and natural. Let me share with you the subtlety of effortless embodiment. Effortlessness arises when your consciousness no longer perceives your desired state as something outside yourself to achieve, but as your inherent nature, fully accepted and wholly embraced. You know your state is fully embodied when thoughts of your previous condition seem distant and unfamiliar, almost as though they belonged to someone else. The hallmark of true embodiment is this feeling of unfamiliarity with your past self. Like waking from a dream, the details fade into irrelevance. You no longer identify with old limitations, old patterns, old acquaintances who hold memories of your former state. They may remain in your physical orbit, but their emotional resonance dissipates, for you no longer vibrate at their frequency. Allow me to introduce what I call the G law of effortless resonance. Just as tuning forks resonate naturally without struggle when one vibrates, your state, fully embodied, effortlessly harmonizes your external circumstances to match its inner reality. You do not force. You do not demand. You simply resonate. This is spiritual magnetism, drawing to you all that is congruent with your new self. Thus, silent emergence is not active, it is passive. It unfolds as naturally as the blooming of a flower, as silently as the passing of seasons. Consider the lilies of the field, how effortlessly they bloom. They toil not, they spin not, yet their beauty surpasses Solomon in all his glory. Such is the grace of your emergence. Your transformation, when complete, radiates a natural elegance that requires no announcement. Now, I want to guide you through a deeper understanding of the art of living as if fulfilled. This is not mere pretense. It is not a conscious act or deliberate strategy. It is a fundamental shift in identity. You know you are living fully embodied when you no longer consciously affirm your new reality. It has become your default mode of being. It is as natural as breathing. It is simply who you are. Consider the subtlety of how a king or queen moves through their kingdom. They do not assert their royalty at every turn. They simply exist in quiet assurance, and this alone commands respect. Your fulfilled state is your kingdom. Walk through it with quiet authority. No assertion needed, just presence. This is why genuine transformation leaves no room for anxiety or impatience about manifestation. You are no longer waiting for something to appear, for in consciousness, it is already fully realized. The external world, then, is merely adjusting to reflect your inner certainty. Here is a profound secret of consciousness. Manifestation is not something you create, it is something you recognize it. When fully embodied, your new state seems not miraculous, but obvious. The outward reflection in your life is not surprising, it is natural confirmation. Let me elaborate briefly on the principle of non-attachment in emergence. You must remain detached, even in your new state, from needing external validation. Attachment to outcomes or recognition subtly indicates doubt. When your emergence is complete, you no longer depend on outcomes for validation. Your internal convictions suffice it. The paradox is this: non-attachment accelerates your manifestation because it removes the inner friction of neediness. You allow life to flow to you freely, unobstructed by anxious grasping. Consider the wisdom of water. It takes no form of its own but effortlessly molds itself to whatever vessel it fills. Your consciousness, like water, effortlessly adapts, and thus inevitably manifest. Now, understand clearly, silent emergence is inherently relationally. Your new state affects not only you, but every interaction you have. Each interaction, therefore, becomes a mirror, reflecting the authenticity of your transformation. Observe these mirrors, but do not react to them emotionally. Merely see them as feedback, subtle evidence of your alignment, or a prompt to deeper inner certainty. Therein lies another deep truth. Outer world is always a faithful mirror of your inner state. When fully emerged, the outer reflections match your internal knowing with precision. This mirroring is not something you control consciously. Rather, it occurs spontaneously and inevitably. And finally, know that silent emergence, while deeply personal, also holds a profound collective power. Your authentic transformation quietly inspires others without your direct intention. You become a living beacon of possibility. People sense your silent radiance and are subtly influenced to seek their own inner truth. Thus, your silent emergence is not merely personal, it is universal. Each consciousness that authentically embodies its desired state elevates the collective consciousness. Each true emergence contributes subtly yet powerfully to the awakening of others. Therefore, let your life be your message. Not your words, not your explanations, but your being. Allow the grace of your fully embodied state to radiate outward effortlessly. And know deeply, intimately, irrevocably, that your silence has become your most powerful ally, your truest voice, your most profound proclamation. But God, be silent, be fulfilled, be radiant, and thus quietly change the world. Tonight, my dear friends, we journey further into what may be the most sacred segment of the law, the mystery of a high silent emergence. Let us now contemplate that rare and profound moment, when one who has withdrawn into silence, severed the cords of former identity, and taken refuge in the inner chamber of the wish fulfilled, begins to emerge. This is not an act of return. It is not re-entry into the old world. It is the unveiling of a new one. You see, emergence is not a signal flare sent to the world declaring your transformation. It is the quiet radiance of a state fully embodied. You do not step out with announcement. You step forward with a being. This is the final and perhaps most delicate stage in the sacred process. For while silence is easy to observe in retreat, the challenge lies in preserving that inner stillness while moving outward again. In this, we begin to understand the concept of resonant embodiment. True transformation, when complete, hums through every fiber of your being. It no longer needs guarding. It is protected by its own nature. Just as a butterfly never re-enters the cocoon, you do not return to defend or debate the reality of your new state. It becomes your atmosphere, your aura, your invisible yet undeniable vibration. Many fall short here. They re-emerge too early, half-formed, still seeking approval or understanding from those who cannot see what is now within them. Let me speak clearly. If you need to prove your transformation, it is not yet complete. What is real does not require validation. It irradiates sins. It commands and denies. It This is why I tell you, your emergence must be effortless. The river does not struggle to reach the sea. It flows in harmony with its course. So too, when your state is fully established, you begin to live outwardly in that truth as easily as breathing. There is no return to the old for one who has truly crossed the threshold. Let us now go deeper into what I call the high cycle of inner incarnation. Before any outer emergence, your desire must be 1. Conceived in imagination, shown, stated in silence. 3. You must understand this. The physical manifestation is not the goal, it is the echo. The ye-stating is the cause, and it is eternal. So how does one live after silent emergence? You become the quiet flame. You carry the knowing, not the need to tell. Your mere presence begins to alter the field around you without effort or design. People will respond to your vibration without understanding it. They will feel the shift, but not know its origin. That is how you know you have emerged. Let me introduce a subtle but essential concept. G-power of silent magnetism. This is not charisma. It is not performance. It is the field generated by unwavering inner alignment. When you embody a state completely, reality is drawn to you by a law more ancient than time. You do not chase. You do not persuade. You allow. But beware, even in emergence the old state may whisper, not as a threat, but as a test. Do not engage. Do not defend your new self. The moment you argue for your transformation, you are no longer in it. Live it. Let us explore this through a metaphor. Imagine you are the sunrise. Does the sun announce its arrival with words? Does it argue with the night? No, and it appears, and by its very presence, the darkness withdraws. So must you emerge, not to explain, but to shine. This brings us to a principle I call G doctrine of implied fulfillment. Once you have fully emerged, your speech, actions, and decisions imply the fulfilled state without needing to state it. You no longer speak of becoming, you. Let me offer you a simple practice. From this moment, speak only from the perspective of the fulfilled state. Do not say I hope to be, or I am working toward. Say only what one in possession of that desire would say. This is not mere positive thinking. It is embodied identity. There is no victory in convincing others. Your work is not to explain, but to express. To share them through presence, through alignment, through inner peace. That is your only task. Now, consider the parable of the prodigal son. He did not return home and plead to be accepted. He came back, and the father ran to meet him. So it is with your desires. When you return to your rightful state, reality rushes forward to welcome you. Not because of effort, but because of resonance. So, in this final leg of the path, do not break your silence with declaration. Maintain it with dignity. Do not seek recognition. Let it come to you. The oak tree does not demand acknowledgement for having grown. It simply stands, and its presence is known. Remember this. Emergence is not something you do. It is something you allow. It is the byproduct of inner completion. Nothing more, nothing less. To those who still live in your past state, say nothing. Not in pride, in compassion, for they are meeting a version of you that no longer exists. And they must come to see the new you through their own transformation, not yours. So I leave you with this truth. Live in the quiet triumph of your becoming. Let the outer world catch up if it must. And until then, be still and know